was a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I have today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Hey, good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSGI. Mayor Billy Vogel is in the house.
I'm here.
One of my favorites. You know that, don't you? You know you're one of my favorites.
Yeah, let me tell you, this morning you got to walk fast unless you want to breathe. I mean, it's really different this morning.
Yeah, it changed. It really changed. We've had a couple of nights where it got close because I kept thinking, I've got a banana tree.
A banana tree.
I do, and it does beautiful every year. But the minute that it freezes, it's done, and you cut it back and it regrows. And I have it. I mean, honestly and truthfully, if I let it go, I'd have 10 banana trees, and it grows like crazy. But anyway, so it'll die back probably after like I'm sure it's done. I could have covered it, and maybe I could have covered it for a few nights and probably hung on to it for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
But I'm like, ugh, I didn't want to get up in the middle.
Well,
I forgot about it. And I didn't feel like getting up in the middle of the night and covering it.
I didn't get into about 9 o'clock from county commission. I said, go out there and cover up your flowers now. You're going to lose them because we've got a lot of money in them ferns and stuff. And I bought some mums yesterday at a ribbon cutting. There's a place right next to Willie Mays. $10 a mum. Boy, you talking about pretty. And I bought some mums, and I made sure they's covered up.
Yes.
I got orange and white because of the Tennessee Vols.
Did you now?
Yes, they did. They had some orange and white mums.
Did you watch that?
And, I watched it some. But if you'll notice, it takes an hour to play a football game, but it takes 4 hours to do it on TV.
Oh, I know.
And
it's
the commercials
ridiculous.
finally got on my nerves, and I went outside the shop and listened to it on radio while I worked in the shop. But
well, it's so funny. This is one of the. I listen to a lot of different preachers. This guy Bobby Davis out of Cookeville. He is hysterical, and he has to preach on Saturday because some of these churches preach on Saturday.
Yeah, they do.
And he's like, and he's a big Orange fan, and so he was talking about how that. So the game was at the point where it was about over, but worship was starting, and he was thinking to himself, I could let them do their praise and worship, and then I could go out and preach, and I could see the end of this game. He's like, I can't do that. So he went on out to praise and worship, and he said, he went through this whole sermon really thinking that they'd gotten beat. And they had baptisms or something on Saturday. And so he said, right at the end, he says, we'd barely gotten this one guy through his baptism. And he goes, Vols won! It was just
on Sundays,
it was so funny the way
we've
he
got
told
some
it.
Titan fans at church, and they'll say something, well, I hope the preacher knows the Titans play today. And I said, well, I'm not going to tell him. You go tell him. But people are conscious of ball games while they're at church, aren't they?
Yes, they
I mean,
are.
what do you think about it?
I'm not a big. I wish I had watched that game because I mean, hearing about it, I'm like, I wish I had watched that game. What am I doing? Or am I? Hi, brother. How you doing? Oh, he'll just come popping in. Gonna go run in this cold weather. I bet you. Oh my goodness.
Hey, it was
He's
one of the
intense.
best games that
He's
I've
intense.
ever watched and listened to. I've looked at the replays, and I've been to a lot of Tennessee football games and college games that you watch on TV. This one here was as good. Be hard to find one. It was more entertaining.
I had Nick Barris is somebody who he up at Channel 5. I've known him for years, haven't been in touch with him probably in the last 10, but we used to sit beside each other at the Titans game. And so we got to know each other pretty well, and I follow him, and he goes, that's the best football game I have ever seen.
It was.
He was and everybody that loves to watch football have said that was one of the best games they've ever seen. Now, my husband's reaction was, where'd the defense go?
Well,
that was his first reaction because it was such a high-scoring game.
to sit back and watch the crowd rush the field and see how happy they was. And it was, I mean, you didn't even have to talk. If you was the commentators, the scene was explaining itself.
What was so funny?
I mean, these people are desperate.
Well, this is what was hysterical too. My grandson had a ball game, so we had a baseball game, and we just didn't have it turned on. We don't follow the college football or anything like that. We don't follow football in general much anymore. But we did turn the news on or something. We turned the TV on and saw the goalpost going up through the crowd. And the commentators were going, well, it looks like they have a plan now. Like what they're going to do with the goalpost. Of course, they took and threw it, I guess, in the river. That's become a tradition or something. It's crazy.
He's lighting up cigars. I guess we need to get back to business at hand, don't we?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of football left, and you might soak this one up, but next week you may be thinking you got the big head,
Yeah. I'm telling you. So, all right, we better.
But hey, I noticed some of our high school teams are doing great.
Yeah.
And East Robinson, I heard, won their region. I know Springfield is, they've lost the last couple by close margins, but they've been playing in their league with their region stuff. They're pretty tough again. Pretty tough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Greenbrier, that's my guys, and they've got their last home game Friday night. That's senior night.
Yeah.
And then they've got one more game, and the people they got beat this past week. I can't remember who beat them, but nonetheless, they've done good though.
It seemed like football just started, and the barns were smoking, the corn was still being, and here we are now. It's October the 18th. The month's over half gone. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Halloween before you know it, and Thanksgiving's right here looking at us. I can't believe how fast this year's gone by.
I have to cook for Turkey Day, so
yeah. Well, you better be finding you a turkey.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Man, they talk like I was.
Well, they said the same thing last year.
Well, this
it
morning
wasn't a
some
thing.
guy said he ordered 200, got 100, and they've already been called for. He's trying to find them. And,
okay. I'll go get my turkey this week then. But see, we've got all kinds of stuff. I've got so much stuff going on this week. It's crazy. It's going to be wonderful. We've got there's a candidate forum tonight in White House that I'm working with, and I'll give you details on that in a minute. Tomorrow night, we've got our 1-year anniversary for Celebrate Recovery at the Madison Church of Christ, where I still work part-time. And so I lead that. And then on Thursday night, I've got the chili cook-off for the Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. I'm guessing you'll probably be stopping by that one.
Okay,
too.
yes.
Yeah, because Sean messaged all of us. I'm going to be one of the judges, myself and Devin O'Day. So
gosh, I hadn't heard her name in a long time.
I love Devin. She's my radio sister. But we're going to be there as judges. I had something about we're going to be hosting it. No. They've got us as judges, which is just fine. Whatever they need us to do. But I just misunderstood what they needed from us. But we're going to be judges, and we're going to be there just working the crowd as us, just doing the whole radio remote kind of thing.
Where's
is
she up
what
to
they
now?
got us to do. Devin, she's working for the Connection, or she's working for the group. The newspaper group, and I forget their name. They're the Connection here in town.
Yeah.
But there's the overall group. She works for them, and she does human interest stories and covers the news. Kind of, we put this up on social media. She does that. She does a show every day, midday, just kind of like this, but it's all on Facebook and stuff. And she's always going to have her hand in country radio.
Yeah.
And, those types of things. So she's always doing fantastic interviews and interesting things. She's one to follow. If you're really into, well, the local scene, she does a great job with the local stuff too, because she covers all kinds of counties, not just Robertson, but she's all over the place. But if you're really interested in country music and you want to see some great interviews, follow Devin, because you just never know who she's going to have on with her. And I mean, sometimes, it's just.
But tell her we put a plug in for her.
Oh, I will. I'll tell her. I'm going to try. We may get her on the phone tomorrow. I haven't told her that, but I'm going to try to reach out to her and see if I can't get her maybe on the phone to talk about the chili cook-off on Thursday. I'd get Sean in here, but I hate to even try to get her in here because I know she's so busy. But I will reach out and see if she wants to come in and talk in the morning. But if not, we'll take care of that. But one more thing, and then we'll get to your stuff. This is Bus Safety Week, okay? This is the National Bus Safety Week. And Josh Heinerman tried to come in here yesterday, but they're so shorthanded on bus drivers, he just could not break away.
It's terrible.
So we're going to talk every day about Bus Safety Week. And while we were on the air yesterday, I got a text from Ilyu Maldonado, who is the pastor, of course, at Ebenezer Church, and he is president of Ebenezer Broadcasting here. He is from Puerto Rico, he's a veteran. Just if you don't know Ilyu, he's out there running right now in this cold. He is a great guy. He told me his 6-year-old sister was killed trying to exit or enter a bus because somebody disobeyed the stop arm violation. And this has been, of course, many years ago because she was 6. And I had no idea that he had that as part of his history. But here is somebody who we all know that sister was killed because somebody did not abide by a bus stop sign, and she got ran over.
So if it's a 4-lane, you're supposed to stop.
You better believe it. But that blew my mind.
If there's a grass medium, I think in the middle, you're okay. But if it's a 4-lane, I don't care if it's on the 4-lane. You're supposed to stop.
But that just breaks my heart that But I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine the anguish that you would go through as a family dealing with that. But I had no idea that Ilyu had that experience. And so there's something very tangible right there, guys. So if you know Ilyu.
Yeah, there's buses running in the dark now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you can see the bus all lit up, but you can't see the child.
No, you cannot. Yeah. And I mean, if you see those buses, you better crawl. That's one thing. Working in a school now, I typically, whenever school is out, I tend to stay way after all the kids have cleared out because I get there about a half hour later. So I tend to try to stay at least a half hour to an hour or so later doing prep for the next day. Well, so I'm very rarely in the crowd trying to drive around, but I had to leave, as soon as we dismissed yesterday, and it makes me so nervous with those kids running everywhere because they don't pay attention. They're just like, school's out. And so they just make me so nervous. And
in the morning, they're walking to get off the bus to go into school. In the afternoon, they're running.
Yeah,
to get on the bus
exactly.
To get home. Yeah.
And with the Halloween coming up, they're going to be out trick or treating. They dart out in front of cars. I have a friend. There was she's a grown woman now, got a baby, but when she was a little bitty, I remember this was when I'm wanting to say it was. Oh, which one? It was one of the presidents was coming through West Kentucky. And they were all standing there. I think it was Clinton that was standing, and they were standing there, and this motorcade came through, and they were all excited, to see the presidential motorcade. And they had a hold of her, and she just jerked away from them and ran out. I don't think it wasn't after the president had gone, but it was all the other cars. She got hit by a car. And I mean, she broke her arm or something. They had a hold of that child, and she still darted out. And what the point of this is, guys, you've got to watch for kids. When you see crowds, when you see kids, crawl. You need to be going very slowly. You don't need to be trying to keep highway speeds. I know you're late for something. I feel you. I'm always late for something, it seems like. But you've got to be careful around these buses. You've got to be careful around the schools. This is National Bus Safety Week. Please be careful. Please be careful. And now, Mayor Billy Vogel's in the house.
Yes, I'm here. I've been up since this morning. I had to have blood work done at the hospital. And, of course, breakfast is my biggest meal. So I had to fast, but I made sure that I went early enough to do my blood work. Took no time. I met the interim director of the hospital yesterday, Miss Charlotte, and I was impressed. Mm-hmm. She knows the concerns of the community. She knows the rumors that are being said. She knows the facts. She knows that maybe some things wasn't done that could have been took care of during this transition to keep the public's trust. And she's going to work hard at trying to fix those things.
Okay.
She's told me, she said, if you've got any rumors, questions, please call me. 'Cause we want to answer them. Mm-hmm. We're working on getting more doctors in here. Will it be like it was? Probably not. I mean, the world's changing constantly.
Right.
Everyone I know right now is looking for a family doctor, which is pretty unheard of now.
Yeah. They're
coming out of colleges and they're getting into being specialists for knee surgeries or whatever, and not really being an all-around family practitioner. And I'm being told that if you do the family doctor side, it's hard to make a living because of the insurance.
Yep.
So I think we're in a changing world when it comes to health care. But I've been assured that Robson County is going to have a hospital. It's going to be here, and they're going to try to do the best they can to meet our needs.
Right. Well, I need to get them on. I need to, I need to get them back in here. We've talked to them a lot over the years, but definitely need to get them back in here. And one of the things too, the rise of the nurse practitioner, that is something that has become almost really has replaced the family doctor as a nurse practitioner. And that's who I go to is Brittany, and what is her last name? I'm just like going blank.
We just do call her Doc.
We call her Doctor.
Doc,
we call her Dr. Brittany, but she's out in the White House area. But she was. I'm not sure how they're affiliated or anything. But she is probably one of the smartest women I've ever met in my life. I mean, she is just so good, but she's a nurse practitioner, and I always thought she was a doctor, but she has insight and so I just don't dismiss. My daughter-in-law is a nurse and one of the smartest people I've ever met, and she knows so much. So, I mean, there's these nurse practitioners, they're good guys, and that's kind of what's taken the replacement of it seems to me to kind of replace the family doctor, and then you go to the doctor when you need surgery or something like that. But the nurse practitioners have certainly. Brittany Jepson, thank you, Laurie Riley. I was just blank. I was like, what is her last name? Brittany Jepson. Her husband's the Jepson Farms and raises all the watermelons. Yeah, Jepsons. They raise all the watermelons.
Okay,
They raise all the watermelons and stuff.
Anyway, hey, I went and got my flu shot yesterday.
I've got to get mine Thursday. We're getting them at school.
Hurt. Folks, it don't hurt. Everybody says, well, my arm's sore. Look, we're getting soft. We are getting soft.
We're wimps.
Yeah,
just say what it is.
I done blood work this morning, and it's a small world. The lady used to live that stuck me. She lived on the street that my mother-in-law lived on, and I'm thinking, and it didn't even just feel like a pinch.
Oh, yeah, you don't even notice it. I mean, I'll get mine Thursday, so... Anyway, we're just talking. I
wasn't there 15 or 20 minutes, y'all. I didn't get to eat breakfast at the hospital because they got a great breakfast.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, last night we, of course, we called everything to order, and I got on everybody about muting their phones and getting the ball caps off. I got mine on this morning, but it's cold, y'all. This meeting we had last night, I've never had a meeting that the resolutions, we've all had them typed up last week, they're on paper, but all of them literally changed during the course of Friday and today, yesterday.
You had to mark them all up, I can say.
Yeah, I mean, look at my paper. And
it's like, change this, change that. Yeah.
When it was just really a funny way the days has went. It seems like first thing, I'll get into it, we've got a opening. We got 4 openings in zoning. And we are trying to do the best we can. I've made a point. We've posted these jobs. I'm going to hire the best people. And the zoning board's working with me, with Ag Committee, we're going to hire the best people we can find. Robson County's changing. It's growing. We want to grow right. We want to manage our growth the way it should be. But these folks are coming in from all over the country. And as we know, Robson County zoning, it has changed, and we're going to get the best people we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of requirement? I guess they go to the county website to see the
Yeah,
openings
the county
and things
website.
like that? Okay.
And of course, news travels fast in Middle Tennessee. They know there's openings out there.
Okay.
We just hired a EMS director, and I bet I had 35 or 40 applications, and some of them was as far away as Montana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, and of course,
Wow.
you don't know those people. I used the state of Tennessee to help me screen people, and we hired a guy named Brent Dyer. He seems to be, I can tell the job my people do when my phone don't ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
To complain, yeah.
right, my phone don't ring right now.
Where is he from? Is he a
He
local?
come out of Sumner County.
Okay.
He had high marks with everyone I talked to, state levels, and it seems like things are really going good. The morale's getting back up. COVID drug everybody down.
Yes, it did. Yeah, and a lot of people that were close to retirement and like I say, I'm out.
Yeah.
and they did.
Well,
There
they
were a lot
did.
of people that
They
were on
checked
the
out.
edge.
They
They're
checked
like,
out.
I'm
They
done.
haven't come back.
Yeah.
We are 5 to 7 positions short with the people on ambulances. We've got an ambulance down that you can't get parts for another 3 months.
my.
We've got a new one ordered that's been ordered now 6 months, and we're still 3 months from even seeing it. I don't
An
understand.
entire ambulance?
Yes.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't understand what's going on with our, anything that you want to buy, order. What's the backup like? It just happened overnight.
It is.
it
It's
seemed like.
bizarre. It is
Yeah.
bizarre. It seems to have eased up a bit,
Yeah.
supply chain, but in some things, you still can't get them, and it is.
I
It
thought
is
government
odd.
was slow, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yep.
But anyway, I've got some announcements. Like in communications, we welcomed Brent Dyer last night, and we've got a new road superintendent. Mm-hmm. Devin Hester retired, and I'm going to tell you, Devin was the best, in my opinion, highway superintendent in the state of Tennessee.
Oh wow.
And there's a lot of good ones, but I'll put our highway department up against anybody when it comes to paving and the job they do. We're down to about like 17 laborers out there now. It used to be a lot more than that. But my buddy Dudley Atkins, we call him Troy. Troy got that job. He's from Adams, and he's just a good old country boy, but he's been there a long time. Last night I also announced that we're going to redo or re-look at the disaster program.
Okay.
After being around Waverly and what happened down there during the floods, you didn't see that coming. They didn't see that coming. They knew they had a creek that would rise and fall real quick, and brush would stop it up. They knew that, and they had been talking to Corps engineers, but nobody never dreamed they'd get 20 inches of rain in 6 hours. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the railroad is nothing but a levee. It busted, and that town literally got swept away. Mm-hmm. It's like the man that was holding his 2 kids one minute, next minute they's out of his hands and gone. That's how fast it hit. Well, I've stayed in touch with that mayor, and our EMA director sent our assistant down there, Amanda. She went down there and stayed 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Oh wow.
She was over what they was dragging out of the creek, and then somebody else would be over trying to get the streets cleared. Everybody had a job, and their job was strictly for that. Well, I don't know if Waverly was prepared, but they have got stacks of FEMA papers now on their desk where FEMA has not paid them. And what it is, when you have these disasters, they will not pay you till you have got everything dotted and crossed.
Yep.
And if you got people running around like the Three Stooges, you're not going to get anything dotted or crossed. You've got to have a plan where the boots are on the ground and where they're going to be. Mm-hmm. This is something that's been bothering me ever since the Waverly flood. Mm-hmm. And I said if I got reelected that I was going to tackle this.
I'm proud of it because having come out of being from Mayfield.
Well, if 2 tornadoes hit, let's say one hit the office building,
Yep.
and then one went through Cross Plains and Adams or Greenbrier or Ridgetop, wherever, you're going to be split as far as the county.
Yep.
All right, you got water systems that's probably pumping muddy water and maybe not have a way to treat it. You're going to have electricity down. You're going to have schools down. The office building, which has all these papers of everybody's history and their families, marriage license, wherever you need copies, all that is gone.
Yep.
And these people are going to be coming to you next couple of weeks because their houses are gone, and they're going to be wanting this paperwork because they got to get it to the insurance companies. They got to get with FEMA. And I just said, what happened the day after a disaster? And somebody sticks a microphone in my face and says, Mayor, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say, I don't know. We weren't prepared for this. Mm-hmm. I'd rather say, hey, this is what we got going on. The sheriff's got a command center started. EMA has got a command center started at this part of the county. The fire departments know where they're at. And we've got a plan about what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
What about 911? Where's the ambulances going to be?
Yep.
It's something it's going to take a lot of work. We've already started with my office for people. I've even told our employees that I don't care if that building's gone. You're still going to have to come to work because we've got the public to serve. Mm-hmm. They're going to be coming to us, and they're going to have requests, and they've got to be met.
And the thing that you're going to that you have to think, and this because of Mayfield, I've had firsthand experience with this. My nephew, fortunately, their farm was not touched. You know, we were about 10 minutes away from where it went through, but where I grew, where my house, where my homestead is, but Wade worked, oh my goodness, the hours he worked. Because he worked for the city of Mayfield. And so had he been one of the ones who lost their homes, then he would have had to still gone and helped because even if his home had been gone. And so that's a situation we had in Mayfield is we had people who had lost everything. They still needed them because the entire county seat was gone, you know, and people just can't even comprehend it. Because I tell them, I said, imagine that the entire downtown square here in Springfield is wiped out and the entire historical district and then the path coming and going to that completely gone. And that's what you had in Mayfield. And no, they were not ready.
If you're not prepared, the insurance company's not going to, hey, where's everybody going to be without paperwork?
Oh, my word. You are speaking so much truth because I know so much about it because my family's down there. And the nonsense with FEMA and all of that. Oh, my brother could come in here and he could tell you some stuff.
First time we got it is going to have to set up the command center. And that you got to have the brain, and then the people on the ground have got to be where they need to be without running over each other.
Absolutely.
Everybody will have a job. It's exciting to get prepared for this, but I'd rather say we was prepared than the next day say, hey, we just never thought it'd be.
And you hope you'll never need it. Yep. You hope you'll never need it, and the odds of it are very slim that you ever will. But if you do, you'll be ready. Let's pause and take a break, and we're going to come back and we're going to focus and we're going to get through this meeting without chasing too many rabbits. Let's start right now with Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. They have cut back their hours a little bit. If you go, the best way to find out what's going on out at Corbin, follow them on social media. They do a great job on their Facebook page. They're still open 7 days a week. You'll still be able to get by there and, pick up stuff 7 days a week. But their hours right now, they have gone from, let's see here, they're going from 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday. Sunday, they're open from 1 to 4. So 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday. Sunday, they're open from 1 to 4. Just colder weather. There's not as much going on, but now this is still the place to go for so many fun gifts. They've got great gift ideas. They've got, of course, their pansies that they're selling for fall color, and you've got to get those, put them in, and cover them. Here's the thing. Next week, we're looking at temperatures back up to 70. So the temperatures are going to fluctuate from here really till Thanksgiving, and you could still have some beautiful color in your yard if you'll cover them and take care of them, and they can help you with that. At Corbin, they've had the discounts on their perennials that they may not look great right now, but you put them in the ground, they're going to come back beautiful in the spring. So you can go and get a deal on perennials. They are always your place for beautiful houseplants, and they are your CBD source. If you're somebody like me that has arthritis or any kind of an inflammation issue, maybe you have trouble sleeping, you may find that CBD is really a big help for you. And of course, they'll be taking care of all your CBD needs throughout the year. Throughout the cold weather months, and it is Robertson County CBD produced from the plants that her brother Bill grows. And do you want somebody to come and help you with your Christmas decorations? If you want to do that, you need to contact Amy. They do a lot of that, and she can put you on the list to take care of that. She's also one of the leads on the sampler that's going to be coming up. So she's going to be in studio with me in a couple of weeks on Thursday to kind of unpack that and tell you everything you need to know about the sampler. But anyway, Corbin Creek, one of our longtime sponsors, dear friends here at One Street Over. And when you get by there, always tell them. Mayor Billy Vogel is in the house. I'm going to shut up. Go.
Okay.
You need to tell us everything that's going on.
We're going to get off disaster, which is important.
Yeah.
We're working on that. This month, I signed all the paperwork for a new 911 radio tower system. So Motorola's, if we can start on that project, it's going to be probably take over a year to get it done. But folks, I'm hoping there won't be a dead spot in this county.
Oh, that'd be
and there'll
wonderful.
be plenty of pings on that tower when you have an emergency at your house. It's a $7.3 million project. We was able to use our stimulus money. The cities used their stimulus money. We was able to help the cities with some of their radios because, let's face it, they're just like us. They're on budgets.
Yep.
And then the governor came through. He's using our towers to set up his THP calls, and he gave us a little over $1 million to do that where we're working with the state. So it all came together.
Very good.
Everything's been signed.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
We need that so desperately.
Thanks for the work from the cities, my county officials that worked on that, the EMA bunch. A lot of people may see them going to fires and stuff, but we do a lot more than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got that done, and I'm going to put in Ridge Top this weekend. No, I'm wrong. October 28th, 29th, and 30th. They're having a reenactment of Morgan's Raiders when they came through Tennessee, and I don't think anybody really knew what side they was on. It just whatever town they was in, that's how they was the good guys. And then they was raiding people. And,
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, John Morgan, he was kind of a renegade
Nothing about
Confederacy guy.
Really?
But anyway, Ridge Top's doing a reenactment. And the Union soldiers finally killed him, some up around, I think.
Really?
Yeah, up and around the Virginia line, Tennessee line.
Oh, I got to know more about this. Okay, you folks got to get in here and tell me about this.
October 28th is Children's Day. Children get in free.
Okay.
Of course, schools will be having field trip. But Saturday and Sunday, the reenactment starts at 1:30. It'll be on the Ridgetop. They got a park, Ridgetop Park. That's where the reenactment's going to be. I talked to the mayor yesterday, and he is really excited. He thinks this is going to be a real big deal.
Awesome.
And, I've always wanted to go to Shiloh to see the reenactment. I've been to the park, but I've never had time to go. But here's something right here in Robinson County that you can go watch this reenactment.
And these folks that get into this, I've got some friends that are into all of this. I've got some friends that do the Revolutionary War stuff. And it's fascinating. It is fascinating. But anyway, cool. I'm going to shut up. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm big on tourism. And somebody says, why are you big on tourism? Well, here we got this in Ridgetop. That's going to draw people into Robinson County to spend their money. I think maybe the Bell Witch play in Adams is maybe over or wrapping up, but they have been sold out every night. And it's not so much about the theme of the Bell Witch, it's the people that's acting, and you're going back in history, how they're dressed. They even have a live horse. They just got done with the smoke play. And there's people coming into the county, spending their money, and what's good about it, they're going to get back in the car and they're going home.
Yeah.
I like that. So
I love that's funny.
But the chamber and all them keep a lot of stuff going in the county too.
They do.
This week they've got leadership Middle Tennessee. All the classes from every county in Middle Tennessee will be in Robinson County this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're learning about Robinson County and how we click around here.
They're supposed to be coming to see the audio video program that we're building at Greenbrier.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, it makes me a little nervous. But I mean, we're trying to put it all together still.
These chambers at Greenbrier and White House and Springfield, I'm telling you what, they keep me busy going to ribbon cuttings, and they got a lot planned. They're working hard. The Chamber of Robinson County is having their fundraiser. They have a skeet shoot. It's kind of like a golf tournament,
right?
Except you go station to station, and they've got something going all the time, raising money for Robinson County and their causes. And the chambers are so important. When you hear about these things and you're outside the county or you're doing your thing, you think, what's a chamber and all that? I have gotten so close to, through the county commission, I see what they do. Yeah, they're promoting.
Chamber of Commerce and United
Yeah.
Way have impressed me big time with the work that they
The
do.
work they do.
The Chamber with the businesses, and then the United Way with the nonprofits. I've been
it's-
so impressed
yeah.
with the way that they are just so involved with the county.
Yeah.
So very good.
Yeah, they keep me hopping. And the last thing on my communications, well, I did a proclamation last night.
Okay.
It's about the 4-H. The 4-H week was October the 2nd through the 8th. So, but I did a proclamation, had those kids there from some different schools around the county. You know, it's whereas 4-H has helped hundreds of youth in Ross County become confident, independent, resilient, and compassionate leaders. There's a lot more to this proclamation, but we met those kids. They introduced themselves, and they got a standing ovation, and it's just something that University of Tennessee Extension System in our county, you know, we have a 4-H, office, and it's good for the kids.
Oh yeah.
They don't want to learn about tobacco. They want to learn about sheep and growing crops and just different things.
Oh, and all kinds of things in the home, and I mean, I'm stunned at all the things that 4-H teaches. I mean, it's much more complex than it was when I was a kid. When I was in 4-H, it was nothing like as expanded
It is
as
now,
it has.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they say it's 136,000 youth across the state.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
600,000 volunteers and 3,500 professionals that work with these 4-H kids. That's
Very
unreal.
good.
Yeah, that's unreal.
All right, what's next?
That got done with my communications finally. We moved into the meeting. Of course, we went over our reports and didn't have any questions asked. Everybody had done their homework. I attended the mayor's conference last week in Murfreesboro, and there was people walking up to me that knew me that I didn't know who he was. And we won an award last year about how we conducted our meetings.
Oh, good.
And now we're on TV, I guess. And I reminded them last night before we got in these proclamations that we're being watched all across the United States. This open meeting vendor that we go through to do our meetings and the way we do them are using us as a guide to all states to show how a meeting is conducted. Not that I know how to conduct a meeting, but to how their software works. And that was pretty cool knowing we're being watched all across the country. In fact, while I walked through that big building for vendors, our meetings was on the screen for everybody to watch.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Little old Robson County country boys up there doing the
I
business.
love it.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I love it. That is very. That is really.
So I had to remind them about that
makes us proud.
before we got into these resolutions. Yeah. We didn't have any zoning because of we had a mistake in zoning. We're so short-handed. This is a problem. I promise folks we're going to fix. It's not going to be a knee-jerk fix either. We're going to do it right.
Okay.
And get the right people. So we went into our resolutions, and the first thing we're redoing the roof on the clinic, the dental clinic, at the health department, and always we're having to do plumbing at the jail. Our clientele has a lack of appreciation for our plumbing, evidently. Hey, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But the jail is getting over, and it's just a lot of things that's got to be done. It's hard to work in the jail because of I can't get into all this. Y'all can use your imagination, but anyway, you got to supervise people and stuff.
Yeah.
We are going to spend $385,000 for these roofs at the clinic, at the health department. We got to have a new HVAC system at the health department, and the health department is probably one of the. I ain't gonna say it's a secret, but if you've never been and took advantage of the things they offer, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
A lot of people do use it, and of course, the jail part of the plumbing is $135,000. We have found out that any time you spend money on the jail, it's not cheap. I think we bought a stove and a washing machine one time. It was over $100,000. Yeah, when you're cooking that many meals and washing that many trays. Mm-hmm. It's I can't imagine what the water bill is there. But because of these projects, we put them out for bid, and it's hard to get people to bid on things because there's so much going on in this country with the growth. But we got a couple bids. We took the cheaper bid, and it was somebody we had used before. But the bids were only good for so long, because if you price plywood, plastic, or anything, the price is not set very long. You cannot get it locked in hardly. So we had to suspend the rules last night. Usually this takes 2 readings. It takes 2 months. We'll vote on it this month, and next month it comes back again, because it changes the budget, it changes our line items. But we had to suspend the rules last night and do it 2 votings in one night, which we've done it before, but it was to lock these prices in before they went up. I mean, to me, that price there seems high, but if you wait 2 more months and get into winter,
Yeah, just wait.
yeah, it's like anything else. It's awful. It changes. Hopefully that we'll get back to normal. Yeah, but both of that passed because it was something everybody knew we had to have, and our next one was we're all time. We've got a older workforce in Robinson County. We've got a lot of folks that's been there a while, and we're seeing now, I think we're probably 5 or 6. Well, we're 4 in zoning positions open. When these people leave, a lot of times we're having to pay them for some of their sick days or maybe what comp time they didn't take off. So we did have a resolution last night. Let me tell you, a penny don't get spent in this county. It don't go in front of that county commission. And that passed last night because we had a lady that left, and we owed her some retirement and everything. So we took care of that last night. That's beginning to be about a every other month thing with people, Lord forbid, passing away, and just we're getting an older workforce.
Yeah.
And I don't see the young workforce coming in yet. I don't see it. I don't know what's happening.
It's interesting because they have these. Well, some of them have ideas of what they want to do, but they don't want to work their way up. They want to come in at this director level, and they've got to come in as down here, and then they've got to take the steps. They want to go right to the top, and they just don't understand that. And they don't understand how things work, that you work your way in. You get your foot in the door. You don't just go in and run things.
Yeah,
You've got to have some experience.
Yeah, we've got a building right there. Gosh, I can't think of the road. Maybe Laura Riley will tell us. It's right behind a community bank. It's a building that we're going to use, the schools are going to use, the college is going to use, Electrolux and these factories. And we're going to start training these kids while they're in high school. Mm-hmm. When they graduate, they can walk right in and get a high-paying job. They're going to know how to weld. Mm-hmm. They're going to know how to put things together, computers, whatever it takes. We're going to teach these kids that there's a life besides college. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's jobs out there now that pay big money, and you can start right out the gate making this kind of money, because there's more opportunities now for anyone that wants to make a good living. The opportunities are there.
You better believe it. And if you're willing to work,
it's
have
there.
a work ethic. I brag on my kids a lot, and they are all doing just fabulously when it comes to their professional lives. But the thing that sets them apart is their work ethic.
Yeah.
Their work ethic. And they grew up in, and I know your kids are the same way, but they grew up in a household where mom and dad just, we don't only work, we enjoy our work, and it's not always, I've done jobs I've not necessarily liked, but I enjoy being able to contribute.
Yeah.
And I don't take that for granted, because there's some people that are disabled and can't. And so as long as I'm able to work, I intend to work. I enjoy working. And so that the work ethic is what has set my kids apart and why they're all doing so well. Yeah. They're smart as a whip too.
We've been a couple of truck drivers short at solid waste.
Yeah.
Now for over 6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
Cannot find anybody. Mm-hmm. I just don't understand it. I guess the baby boomers is all retiring, but still there's nobody stepping up, taking these jobs.
Mm-hmm. And those are high-paying jobs, y'all.
Yeah, you're not going to walk in and be a supervisor, but I promise you someday you'll be offered the chance.
You better believe it. I talked to different ones around the around the city, around the county that are in directorial positions, and they started at truck driver, or they started at whatever. That's what got their foot in the door, and they worked their way up through county government, through the schools, whatever. And that incredible experience that they got hands-on is what gave them the edge when it came to getting the job. And you just can't I mean, come on, kiddos. And I'm so thrilled that I'm in the school system now that I can speak some of this truth to them. So anyway, I tell you what, let's pause. Let's go ahead and let's take another one of our breaks. I want to talk about Cumberland Connect. We talked. You've got Cumberland Connect.
Yes.
I'm so jealous. I'm on the list though that they're saying I'm getting it real soon. I'm supposed to be getting it by the end of the year for sure. And I was putting my address in the other day, and I mean it's looking real soon. And I haven't really seen the activity on my road to make me assured of that. And I know Brian Pooley that comes in here from United Way, they're like in his neighborhood. But it's one of those things you want to check it out because Aaron Slate, he had seen some activity in his neighborhood and didn't think they were ready for him yet. But he went on and said, "Hey, I'm ready to sign up," and they were ready for him. And so you need to what my point is, you need to be reaching out. You need to be making sure that they know you want it once it's available. You need to check your address and see when it's going to be available. And you can do that at www.cumberlandconnect.org. Because here's the bottom line. If you're like me and if you're one of those who I'm doing more and more photography, I cannot take care of my uploads. I have to leave the house. I had some photography I did this weekend. I had to wait until I got to the church or come up here to the radio station to be able to load the files and get them to the clients because I don't have good internet and I'm dead. I cannot wait until I can do all my work from home. And so many people are working from home now. They need good internet. Well, if you are a Cumberland Electric customer, you are going to have access to Cumberland Connect. Cannot say enough about how thrilled I am that they're a sponsor of this program, that I'm going to be a customer of Cumberland Connect as soon as they hook me up because $80 is going to get me 1,000 megabits per second. That's a gig, and that's incredible. And I just can't even imagine that because mine's nothing like that. I am paying $67 a month for AT&T. That is terrible service, terrible service. And I'm going to be able to switch over and get a gig, 1,000 megabits per second. And that's going to be with Cumberland Connect. $80. I cannot wait to sign up. State-of-the-art Wi-Fi 6 router included with internet service at no extra charge, 24/7, 365 days a year. You're going to get support, and they've got a referral program too. I just could sit here and talk about them all day, but I won't. We'll get back to the show, but again, get in touch with Cumberland Connect, and when you do, let them know that U-Turn sent you and sign up today. And Mayor Billy Vogel is in the house, one of my favorite guests.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, buddy. Go. Okay. He was getting organized while we were doing the commercial, so go ahead and tell him what else you need to tell him.
Okay, we're talking about jobs. The sheriff's department stays about 12, 15 positions short all year long. And let me tell you something. You'll probably start out in the jail or whatever, but I know a young man that came out of Seal Hill, Barren Plains area, started out in the jail. Today he's still a young man, but he is a captain. So he went out on the road as a deputy. He got his sergeant stripes, and now he is a captain. There are opportunities in that jail. There are opportunities in the sheriff's department, and we need you are essential workers. We need you. We try to keep that department happy. I mean, we try to raise salaries, be competitive. I'm going to tell you, folks, every time you get on the news, you see these people are in danger as they do their jobs. They're very special. And if you get a chance sometime, just think of what to do.
Amen.
I've got to do a proclamation before I see you next month.
What is it for?
It's a 91-year-old man.
Oh.
He's from the Greenbrier, I think, area. I don't know his name yet, but this lady has called in. He is a veteran from Korea, 3-year prisoner of war. And they're going to surprise him, and I'm not telling his name or what church, but I will be one Sunday morning doing a proclamation from the church for him. Yeah.
If it's a surprise, you probably shouldn't have said it on
No,
radio.
I think he's aware of it, but you know, if you see veterans like it, think of what they do and what they've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, there's the Veteran Service Office here in Robertson County with Terry Wilson. They're hiring too. They're looking for another person over there. And I wonder if they've made that position, if they filled that one yet. So you're talking about hiring. I just know they're looking for somebody.
We are all hiring each other's people away from each other. Yes. This is the biggest chasing your tail I've ever seen. Yeah, and we're trying to adjust salaries to get people.
Yeah.
And then we adjust ours, somebody adjusts theirs. All the counties is trying to steal each other's employees,
Yeah.
especially the ones in the sheriff's department, EMS, and solid waste, animal control. We can always have somebody there.
Yeah.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
And talking about animal control, we have leveled the pad. Work is fixing to start there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're waiting on material, and this is going to be something the county can be proud of.
Well, very good. You better keep on here because we have to wrap it up
All
on
right.
time.
We had a
So-
resolution for the sheriffs. He had a couple vehicles that had been declared surplus, but one of them is going to the Department of Education.
Okay, good.
Yeah, they love old vehicles. Yeah, anything to save money. It's going out there, so that resolution passed. It's a 2015 Ford Explorer. I tell you, folks, don't nothing leave the county we don't know about it.
That's great.
Yeah, I know. We had Margot Fosness visit us last night. Of course, she's with the Industrial Board, and Margot's retiring at the end of the year. Trust me, she is in her wheelhouse dealing with industrial properties, people. Evidently, she was called to do it because she's very, very good at it. Very good at it.
I did not know she was retiring.
Yes. In fact, the Industrial Board's already picked her replacement. I met her this week too.
Okay.
We've got some people that are coming into work, and they're and as one leaves, they're finding people. Because I met her, she's a very nice lady, and we're planning on her introducing to a lot of people. November 3rd, I've got to do the State of the County address, and I don't know what I'm gonna say because we're chugging along. Yeah, we're holding our own, but I'll come up with something. But anyway,
It's
night.
going to be here in a minute. You got about 2 weeks, brother.
Yeah,
You better get it written.
okay.
3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, the
I forget.
education department's going to be there too. Dr. Chris Causey, he's going to be. Yeah, he's part of it. Last night we had a impact plan economic for tax increment to the Varden Group LLC in Greenbrier. If you've been down there across around McDonald's and see what all's happening, these people are putting in more shops for commercial and businesses, and of course the Industrial Board. The state has different plans to help you before you get started, that you're getting a tax break or maybe spreading your taxes out so where your business is coming in and you're able to make this work. It's not really, this plan here is not costing the county nothing. It's just at the end of the 20 years, and that's as long as it can be spread out. To give them it's for $483,000 over 20 years, but the county will get this money back. What it is, we're spreading it out where they can get their feet on the ground and be making an impact on the county. And that's the only, everybody does it. It's like people say, well, how much money does the Industrial Board got? What they get their money from is the motel tax. They get like 5 to 7% of it. And it's, for us to keep this money and get it, lets us compete against other counties. There's no way we can compete with Metro. I mean, they're fixing to spend how many $1 billion for a football stadium? Montgomery County can't do that, and Robinson County can't do it.
Yeah.
Montgomery County is building a whole big complex down there on the river just for entertainment, to draw country stars in, and they're after that tourism buck. If Nashville gets a Super Bowl because of that new stadium, I promise you, Robinson County would probably benefit close to $2 million just in tourist revenue
better believe it.
and restaurants and staying in motels. It's big, big money for these counties. And
if they build that stadium, we will get a Super Bowl because when they did the draft down here, the entertainment industry, the folks that are in charge of all of that, still talking about how much they loved bringing the draft to Nashville, and they just like how we do things, and they love Tennessee. They do, and entertainment's seeing us. They really are, and it's already here, but it's coming more and more. So
NASCAR's coming back to Nashville. They have been there the last 2-3 years doing their championship supper and celebration for whoever wins the title. And folks, we get a benefit out of that too, even though it is in Davidson County.
They love our courtesy, honestly. They love the fact that we don't have as much red tape to jump through, but they really, more than anything, they love the courtesy and the kindness that they see out of the people in this area. And I mean, I hear it just because of my connections with broadcast media. They're very impressed. They're so impressed. So I'm just, it's something, y'all. It is. There's something to it.
I know.
Be nice.
Hey, I had
it
to
matters.
go. I'm
People
not
notice.
a soccer fan. I thought, well, I hope all 20 people in Nashville's happy. But I was invited to the soccer field for a dinner and all the mayors in the county because that soccer field's nice.
Oh, listen,
It is
soccer's a
safe.
big deal.
And
I'm not into soccer either. I'm not really into football.
We can sit more people there than anywhere around. I hear in the United States practically, and they're filling up every time they have a soccer game.
Listen, spending so much time down in Mexico like I do, we're the only country that's not as well. And I mean, and we've gotten there. Most countries across the globe are into international football, and that's football, not what we call football. To the rest of the world, we're the only ones that are, into the football like we are, really. But we're going to run out of time. Let me do my last.
Okay.
Go ahead. What were you going to say? You got something on your mind?
I'm just saying, when you see hotels, motels pop up, that is people bringing money into Robertson County.
Don't forget
and
it.
if it wasn't for that money, we'd be raising taxes.
Absolutely.
Let them pay. Let them pay our taxes.
Let them come and see us, and
then get in the
Mayor
car
says, go home.
and go home.
All right, love it. We're talking with Mayor Billy Vogel, and he is my guest for a few more minutes. If you have any comments or questions, but we want to pause and thank our sponsors, Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends, if you are looking to buy or sell, if you're looking to be a realtor, they are a great team to work with. And it's so funny. Barry says, well, we're not a team. We actually compete against each other for the listings. And so I thought that was kind of fun, but they do help each other. He's the marketer. She's been at the realty game much longer than him. And so they do help each other in many, many ways. But they're saying, come on and be a part of the Exit Realty team. That is a team that they all work together to make each other the best that they can possibly be. You're going to love working with them. Barry's, as a matter of fact, going to be coming by my audio video class on Thursday to teach my students about doing the virtual reality tours of buildings. We're hoping we're going to get something together about Greenbrier and different things that we have going on because we're in the 100th year anniversary of Greenbrier. But we're going to learn that technology from Barry on Thursday in my audio video classes. So I'm very excited to have him help us out with that, and just excited to share them with you. If you want somebody that specializes in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line up in Kentucky, they are the ones you need to call. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com or buy, BUI-RobertsonCounty.com, or better yet, just call them, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, and you know what to say. Tell them you turned Cincha, Mayor Billy Vogel, it's all you. I'm going to shut up. You got 4 minutes.
Well, I got 4 minutes to say we're working with the infrastructure money coming in from the federal government. They're going to the wastewater and water treatment plants. The state gave the cities their part of that money that's coming into the counties, and then the county got a portion, because I've got 2 water districts in the county that's very big, furnishing water to the cities in this county. They're getting their portion. We've got to get this done the next 2 weeks because there's a deadline. I tried to divide the money out amongst the cities to help them out, but we have found out, but in kind of late Friday, that some of these cities will not qualify. Their plans don't work, what the state wanted, TDEC wanted them to do. So I will be reallocating that money in the next 2 weeks. We're trying to meet this deadline, and it's been tough. It's one of the hardest things. If I had to judge it next to COVID, I'd probably put this as a harder.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
okay.
Trying to divide this money where everybody will be benefited and be fair about it, because all these cities have needs. They're all in debt over their wastewater, sewer systems. All their water lines need to be upgraded. Everybody's, it's been tough trying to meet all these obligations, but I'll try to be fair about it. I can't tell you how many people lives in a house, but I can tell you that house has got a meter in front of it. And that's why I counted. I counted meters. But still, like Coopertown tried to do some stormwater, and TDEC turned them down. Said it just wasn't what they wanted done. So, hey, this is something I'm going to be working on the next 2 weeks as hard as I can. Have spent a couple of months. We got started in it we're working GNRC, and then GNRC had the person that was the guru got hired away. Bob Bibb hired him away. Y'all know Bob? Well, Bob Bibb hired him away, and we had to start over from scratch.
Uh-oh.
And then when the state gave us our money back, we didn't know that was going to happen. And we've been behind the 8 ball. I've learned a lot from this, but we're going to make it work.
Okay, well, very good. And this man's office is always open, but be nice to him.
Be nice.
I'm telling you, you better be nice to this man. He's a good man.
Be
He's
good
a
or be
godly
gone.
man. And as he always is very well known for saying, God's got it. God's got it.
Got it.
God's got it. And we appreciate y'all being a part of it. Ryan Martin will be with us tomorrow, and maybe I can see if I can get Devin O'Day to pop in, or maybe Sean from the Chili Cook-Off for Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center, which is happening Thursday night. Tonight I'll be at the Candidate Forum up in White House. Be sure and join me. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.